All right, everybody, let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to laterally move your throw line. This is a technique that arborists use, and others for that matter, to get your throw line from a set spot back to you without having to go to the throw line where it ends up. And normally when an arborist is in a tree and he wants to get to another tree, instead of having to climb down, he'll use this method. Or if you had a cliff or a ravine or something like that and you needed to get your throw line over to the other side and get your rope back to you so you could cross the valley or what have you, this is a technique for that too. But it's easier to show you than to describe it, so let's go ahead and get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick that lower limb and I've already measured it. It's 22 feet from where I'm standing, and where I'm standing I've got a blue rope on the ground, and I'm not going to cross that blue rope. So I'm going to simulate I'm on the edge of a cliff or I'm in another tree and I want to get to that tree. Okay, so I won't be crossing the blue line. I want to show you how to get this throw line from that far limb over back to me. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to get our throw bag over that limb, and I have videos and all this if you're interested, but I'm just going to get this thing over. All right, very good. All right, now I got my throw line over the limb, and I'm going to bring my throw bag. I'm going to elevate it so you can see it. It's right there. I'm going to shake it a little bit so you can. There it is. And right now it's acting like a plumb bob, and I'm just going to lower it back to the ground. Okay. So now we have to figure out a way to get that throw bag back to us. And the way I do it is a technique I learned off the internet several years ago, and I would credit the guy that showed me this, but I can't remember where I even found it. But basically this is it. It's a number 10 treble hook for fishing. And I've cut all the tips off so I don't stab myself, and I filed the cut ends too so it doesn't cut me. And then I tied I think it's a 1 ounce lead weight below it. The reason you need some weight to this is because we're going to be swinging this, and the weight really helps with the swinging motion. And if you don't have that, the weight of the treble hook by itself is not enough. Okay, so you need something to add to it. So if you go to a store to get this hook, there'll be sinkers nearby. Buy yourself a sinker too. But anyway, I tied it through this eye onto here, and then I wrapped it with tape so this cordage wouldn't get wrapped around the shaft of this thing. Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to use. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie this onto this, swing it onto my plumb line with the weight on it, and we're going to bring the whole thing back to us. So the first thing I want to do is I want to raise this weight up about 4 or 5 feet. And we're going to need to do that because when I tie this onto this string here, it needs to be able to clear that ground, and you'll see that here in a second. But in order to tie this on, you're just going to take a bite, put it through the eye, and we're going to girth hitch this whole thing. Okay, just put it over the whole thing. Okay, so now the weight is attached. Okay, now what I want to do next is I want to drop the weight and make sure my hook is going to clear the ground. So I'll just let that go on down. Okay, and then I'm going to swing it. Give myself a little more slack here. And that's going to easily clear it. So I can even, it's a little high, so what I'm going to do is I want to maximize my swing. So it wasn't touching the ground, and it can actually come out another foot or so back towards me. So let's lower that back down. And let's see what kind of swing we have. And that's pretty close, but I'm gonna do it again because we want to maximize that. And you'll see why I want to maximize this in a second. All right, just lower that back down. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm about 6 inches off the ground with the weight. And what I want to do is I'm going to move over here along my cliff edge so I can swing this a little bit better. And what all you do is you lift the weight and just let it go. Okay, it didn't. Let's try that again. It takes a couple times. Yep, don't drop your line like I just did. But let's see if I caught it. I still caught it. Okay, now I'm gonna move back over here and I'm gonna slowly bring the whole assembly towards me. Okay, I'm gonna get next to my line. At this point, I'm gonna swing this weight towards me. Okay, and I'll hopefully catch it. And I caught it. Okay, and it wasn't the cleanest of catches, but it worked. Okay, so let's try that one more time because I actually wrapped the line instead of catching with a hook. So let's try to demonstrate that again. All right, let's line it up and let it go. There we go. That should be a nice clean catch. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back. And this, well, it let go, but I caught it again. Okay, so hopefully you can see how that's caught. And I'm gonna bring it in slowly because we don't want it to unhook. And now is when we're gonna have to swing it like a pendulum towards us and just catch the weight. Okay, just like that. Now I can let that section go and I can untie my throw line, set that down, and I'm going to tie my rope. And just be careful of this part. Don't drop this throw line because you'll have to redo your whole process. And I'm going to tie a clove hitch. And again, I have videos on how to do all this other stuff. So if you want to check that out. Okay, set that clove hitch really tight. And since I'm going to go over that branch up there kind of the long way, I want to put extra half hitches in there because I do not want this rope coming off. Because there's going to be a lot more force involved simply because of the nature of the way you're pulling the rope. Okay, so I got what, 4 half hitches in there. That should hold. Okay, now I'll grab my other string and I'll I'll let that go and I'll start pulling towards me. And the first thing you'll encounter is your weight. And go ahead and take that off. Okay, I'll set that down. All right, now we just pull until we get our rope back to us. Okay, and that is how you get a rope laterally from one point to another. And I'm going to drop the tail of this to show you how far away we are. Okay, I've already measured it. It's 22 feet. So it's a really neat technique. Have fun with it. It's a really fun thing to do, especially if you're high up in a tree and go from one tree to another, and practice and have fun. I'll see you on the next one.